All right, now I've risen to the occasion. So I'm grateful this morning for many things, but one of the things I'm grateful for is that I have new eyes. 3 weeks ago, I had a cataract removed from this eye. 2 weeks ago from this eye. And so now I can see all the brightness and the light in the world. It's been a real revelation. I have 20/20 vision. There's been many years since that's been true. So if anyone is considering cataract surgery or has any questions about it, I'm happy to sing its praises and tell you my personal experiences. And I appreciate a little bit of the lowering of the lights, Seth, very much. So my topic is, as you know, gratefulness, and living gratefully, I believe, is the heart of a well-lived life. Gratitude is at the core of a well-lived life because it gives us a way of observing what's already here, of noticing good things and shining a light on them. What gratitude doesn't change our world, it does change how we see it. As Brother David Stendhal Rast has taught, it isn't happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. Gratitude makes things brighter. It makes life sweeter. It makes the high points higher and the connections deeper. And since the good things are already here, there's nothing you need to do except take a closer look around you. Get up in the morning, look at the world in a way that takes nothing for granted. Recent scientific research shows us that gratitude is not just a pleasant sentiment. It's a powerful force. It can transform individual well-being and community dynamics. According to one of the studies called the Neuroscience of Gratitude Research Study that uses advanced brain imaging, gratitude activates areas of the brain that release dopamine and serotonin. And they have gotten a lot of attention over the last 10 years or so. You know probably that those two neurotransmitters immediately enhance our mood and promote lasting positive feelings. They're called the feel-good hormones, if you will. Studies also at Harvard Medical School and at UCLA have demonstrated that a regular practice of gratitude can reduce stress levels by up to 23%. It can improve sleep quality and reduce general anxiety and depression. These are an overall boost to life satisfaction. The more people in a community, such as this one, can practice gratitude, the more impact they have on lasting positive changes in how people interact with one another. Here are 5 ways that grateful living empowers us to live a meaningful life. Number one of the key factors of gratitude is it focuses us on the present, on the now, this moment, right here, right now, not tomorrow or yesterday. It invites us to discover whatever treasures might be available to us in this present moment that we might miss entirely if we rush through the day. But when we stop and slow ourselves down to notice, be aware, be mindful of, some things may have missed entirely if we just dashed ahead without slowing down and noticing life. The second way that I think it helps us is gratitude begins in our hearts, but it dovetails into behavior. It almost always makes you willing to be of service, which is where joy resides. It means you're aware of all that has been given to you. in your lifetime, and it's hard not to be humbled and pleased to then give back. Often one small gift is all that's required to sow an entire garden of well-being. The third way that gratitude helps us, I think, is demonstrated with a man that you may know of. His name is Father Gregory Boyle. He's a Jesuit priest out in California. He founded an organization called Homeboy Industries. It's actually a series of businesses and services. These programs help former gang members re-enter society with a different perspective, a different awareness and attitude. These efforts that he's made remind us that gratitude is shown best in actions that serve other people. He says it's the little things that we can all do, like picking up litter, serving food at a local soup kitchen, volunteering for any number of good causes that may speak to your heart, and the simple act of being kind to one another. Doing the right thing lifts us out of the doldrums, and doing good feels good. It brings a sense of inner peace, contentment, and happiness. The fourth is that gratitude is often built from something as simple as letting others go first. In traffic or in line at the coffee shop, even if no one cares or notices, many people won't care because, frankly, they're running late, they're thinking about a conversation they had the night before, or this one's especially true for right now, they're fixated on the stock market. So some people won't even notice that you let them go first. They might think it's their due. But you will know, and it can change your life. There really is only today. That's what we have. That's what we've been given. And maybe one person in the car, in the lane next to you, in traffic, or in the line at the bank will notice your casual generosity, and they will be touched and lifted up and encouraged, perhaps inspired. In other words, they'll be changed for the better, and later maybe they'll let someone also go first. And the last quality is that gratitude is like peace. The movement of grace toward gratitude brings us to a spiritual awakening that enhances our sense of contentment, that brings a deep inner quiet, that slows us down, that prompts us to take a deep breath, exhale slowly, while focusing on how good the life is that you have. We are filled with appreciation for all of the beauty around us. This time of year with the flowering trees, the tulips coming up, the jonquils waving in the wind, holding on dear life against the cold weather that we've been graced with suddenly. We are filled with appreciation for all of that nature brings us, the beauty of it all. And we may even begin to find ourselves using words like wonder and awe. To underscore the impact of gratitude, I want to tell you 3 stories about the effect of gratitude on our mind, our body, and our spirit. As always, these are true stories. The first is an excerpt from a book of a writer that you may also know. Perhaps her name is Anne Lamott. She's a prolific writer. She's a recovering person and a recovering alcoholic. And the book I'm quoting from is called Help, Thanks, and Wow. That's the title. She begins, "One morning last week, I awoke at 6, and loneliness was sitting on my chest like a dental X-ray apron. Even though I was buried in hairy dog love with my 2 dogs who sleep with me. I thought to myself, I feel sad. I'm lonely. And already it's starting to look like today is going to be too long. So I did a kindness to myself. I heated up the milk for my coffee. I took a mug with me and took my two dogs for a short hike in the hills. My dog Lily, my girl dog Lily, is getting quite old, so we have to go for shorter walks now. They're not the manic walks I used to do, where I burn off 300 calories and get to feel morally superior and then eat more all day. Our walks are now half as long and slower. It's like we're ambling more than power walking. And of course, they are as lovely still. We walked and hiked into the foothills, which is a serene place. There are curvaceous sloping hills down to the sea. I remember when Lily was a puppy. She'd tear all around that place and then pause to stare nobly out at the vista like a dog in the movies. But today she was limping when we got there. There was wind. I hate wind so much. It can make you feel hopeless, even when surrounded by world-class beauty. I calmed myself. I prayed to quiet myself. And after a few minutes, I noticed that because of the wind, the air was so sharp and clear of particulates that the view in front of me looked like one of those crisply beautiful paintings that are just too good to be true. After a few minutes, the wind had blown away much of my sadness. I laughed. I was so grateful for living in this beautiful place with these wonderful dogs and being close to so much beauty by just walking that I shouted out loud across the canyon, "Thank you so much." And then I sat down with the dogs and experienced a quiet peace as the dogs fell asleep on the warm carpet of earth. What this first story teaches us is that when we don't take life for granted, and when we are willing to be mindful of our attitude, the beauty of the natural world around us can have an energizing effect on our mind, our body, and our spirit that enhances our sense of well-being. My second story is about Mark Nepo. You might also know his name if you like poetry. Mark is a wonderful, prolific poet, a philosopher that I had the real blessing, the real good fortune to learn from in a contemplative spirituality class in 2021. As a teacher, he always speaks with compassion. And as a poet, he is a rare, wise man without arrogance. He told us the story of when he was about 40 years old. He was diagnosed with a form of cancer called lymphoma on the back of his head. The tumor grew to the size of a grapefruit while he was being treated with medications, radiation, surgery, and chemo. He began studying the wisdom of many different faith practices, including daily prayer and meditation. As he went through this very dramatic, deeply personal health crisis, he likened the process of getting well to flowers and how they teach us about transformation. A flower begins as a seed buried underground. It yearns to grow. It seeks life itself as it breaks out of the ground. It grows shoots for reaching out. It grows roots to anchor itself deeply in the soil. The stem grows strong enough to bloom a flower. It remains stationary and grows in place toward the light, always toward the light. It unfolds, and this is the universal life force as the flower knows it. As the result of his search for the spiritual meaning of his cancer, Mark became a student of all spiritual paths and came to know that they share certain common elements, among them the practice of gratitude. With his heart opened by gratitude, he saw his illness as an opportunity to awaken to all of the love around him. He likened it to standing by a lake, that when the winds are blowing, the water is always rippling and stirring. But when the wind is still, the water is clear. You can see to the bottom of the lake, and the bottom is always there as a foundation, no matter what condition the water is in. Mark's story reminds us that we are all surrounded by universal love. It is the foundation of our life experiences that deepen us and anchors us. We are shaped by the mysterious oneness of life. When our hearts are open, we're filled with gratitude, and we are lifted by awe and wonder. If I may, I'm going to put a little plug in that maybe in the fall I can come back and we'll talk about a book called Awe. And that book is about the awe and wonder of, well, actually, the science of wonder and awe by Dr. Kiltner. He has a lot to say that I think would be useful for us, all of us. And so Mark's story reminds us of that universal love. It tells us that even a dark experience can carry a gift with it if we are open to looking for it and receiving it. The third story I'm going to share with you today is from Wayne Muller, taken from a book called How Then Shall We Live? You may know that name because last year I gave a talk on his other book called The Sabbath. Wayne Muller is a therapist. He's a minister. He tells the story in this book of one of his clients, among others, named Ben, who was a medical doctor and had spent the better part of his life with his wife, Carolyn, who was a social worker. And they were missionaries traveling around the world, bringing medical care and compassionate advocacy to many, many people in need. 30 years ago, he was working as a doctor in a clinic in Hong Kong and was driving down a rural road on his way home from the clinic. Along the way, he happened to see a pig farmer walking along the side of the road very slowly, kind of bent over. And Ben slowed down, rolled the window down, offered to give the man a ride. He could see that he was a leper. Ben asked him to get in. The man hesitated for a moment, looking at him intently, and then slowly got into the car. So we fast forward 30 years. Ben and Carolyn have been living in Santa Fe. They have recently retired. Ben was the medical director for the Indian Health Service. Carolyn was a director of a program for developmentally disabled adults. When they retired, they decided they would go back to Hong Kong. They would volunteer their skills again in retirement. Even after all those years, so many people recognized the two of them. They came to them and thanked them for all of their innumerable kindnesses. One day, a man came up to Ben and told him, "I remember you. You gave me a ride. I had leprosy. and you let me into your car. I was so very tired, and you stopped and helped me get home that day. No one had ever let me in their car before, and no one ever gave me a ride. You were the only one. I have always remembered you. Ben told Wayne this story with humility. He was focused not on his own generosity, but on the grace he felt when in the presence of this man's deep, loving remembrance. Clearly, even a simple gesture, a ride, a word of kindness or comfort can be a miraculous gift. This story reminds us that a gift is not a contract, a negotiated reciprocal exchange. If I give you this, then you give me that. No, a gift, by definition, is given freely and without condition. The gift of life, the gift of love, the gift of the earth. These can never be earned. They are given freely, and we are all blessed by them, and we are grateful. In closing, the gratitude that is generated by gifts of the heart comes from us when we are at our best as human beings. When we feel the unspeakable freedom in giving what we have from a deep sense of abundance, that there is enough for everyone. And as we give, so do we receive. Like Anne, when we don't take blessings for granted, we find peace. Like Mark, when we experience universal love, we transcend our understanding of this great mystery of life. And like Ben and the man he gave a ride to, we are blessed to participate in the sacred circle of giving and receiving. The mystic Meister Eckhart asserted that if the only prayer we ever pray our whole life is thank you, that will have been enough. Gratefulness cultivates a sense of abundance in us, and when we give thanks for our daily gifts, then truly we are of great wealth that we cannot help but expand and share with the world. Thank you.